GG. Now what?
Indeed.
Dude. Well, Lumens and Shades releases tomorrow morning when I wake up, basically.
Makes sense.
When I wake up and am willing to click the buttons. I'll probably, do my cards first or whatever. Take a shower. Eat
My card's
breakfast.
really fucking late today.
Rip.
Fine. At least I did them. I think I have missed a day though.
Hmm.
Storing my during GDQX.
Gotcha. So, like, are you just behind, or did you catch it up, or you have
I
to catch
didn't
it
I
up?
didn't add cards. I'm
Gotcha.
honestly
Alright,
it's
it's
it's been
fine. Yeah.
it's been kind of hard enough that I've been like I don't want to
Yeah, yeah.
maybe at some point when I'm like feeling like I have a lot of extra time I'll do
Mm-hmm.
a double day or whatever.
Eternal Odyssey in the near future? Perhaps so. I have to decide if I want to play 1 or 5.
Like do the newest one or start from the beginning or
Well,
what?
I've never streamed 5, and in fact, I've only played 5 once. Whereas, 1 I've played like 4 times at
3 times
least,
at least. Yeah.
and streamed multiple of those playthroughs. And if I do 1, I feel like I have to do 2 and 3 as well. Because, like, I
If you
have
do
the whole
one, it kind of
trilogy.
seems like you have to do all of them in order.
A little bit. A little bit.
If you do
Um,
5, you free yourself.
but it is on the table.
I mean, that's like 800 hours.
Yeah, it is. It is. Um and I would say, yeah, sure, 800 hours. I've got time. But Tevi's coming out in like a month, so
I mean, you can take a break to play Tebby.
yeah, well, yes, but Tevi is also going to take 800 hours. I mean, again, I know nothing about the game, so who knows, but
I think that just depends on what level of like challenge and speedrunning you want to do,
yeah.
which is just dependent on like how good the game is, really.
Yeah,
So,
basically. Well, it's not. Yeah, I don't know. It's not just about necessarily the speedrunning as well, but yeah,
I mean, I think
just
you
like
spend most of your time on Rabby doing like bingos and speedrunning and races and blah blah.
um, yes, but not early on. Early on, I spent a ton of time like achievement hunting or whatever, and that was still like probably 200 hours.
Sure,
So
but there's a big difference between 200 and 800.
yeah, yeah, it's true. But yeah, so I don't know if I'm gonna like stream tomorrow morning and just be like, yo, I'm clicking buttons. Check this out. I do have some things that like I wanna get working. Like I wanna see if I can spin the bot back up, like get that up and running. I have no idea what kind of state that's in.
The music bot?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
Um, just to like, complete the story from what we were working on the other day.
Do any of the songs in the playlist still work?
Yeah, no, the playlist is
Uh,
fine. I use the playlist all the
okay.
time. Yeah. I
I
mean,
know you gotta like maintain it pretty
I
regularly.
yeah, I haven't really touched it in like a year. And there's dead songs. Like absolutely there's dead songs, but it's, you know,
It's
less than
it's
10%.
still there's
It's
quite a
less
bit on
than
it.
2%. It's a small number, yeah. And I should go and update those as I find them, but and I have a pile of things to add, but that's not really the task at hand, I guess. Although it could be, I guess,
Mhm.
would be a use of time. I need to, well, if I intend to do, Etrian 5, I need to make sure that capture card like works. I downloaded the most recent like version of the software, the 3DS capture software. I don't know, maybe that'll fix that weird issue that I had with like the green pixels. Still don't know what the deal with that was.
I don't remember that issue. It's been a bit.
I remember when I was playing Link Between Worlds and like the grass was
Oh yeah, the
like it was
grass.
like neon
Yeah, I remember
and it
that.
kind of like bled into the yeah.
Yeah, it was some sort of compression issue.
So I don't know if that's the software. I don't know if it's the capture card. I don't know if it's the cable. Could have been the cable. I've only tried one cable, so but I only have one cable. So I mean,
Hmm.
but best case
Is it like
scenario,
USB 3 or is it USB 2?
it's let me go look. Ugh.
I assume it's 2.
Well, the one that plugs into the DS is the tiny one, and the one that plugs into the computer is the fat one. So it's like 3 to 2, I guess.
What?
What? It's like
What you said was like seven levels of nonsense.
I think it's C to 3 maybe.
What?
I don't know.
I mean,
It's
C3 is normal, but like I doubt it. I don't think C existed when the capture card was made.
what do you mean? I got it this year.
Yeah, but it's not a new capture card.
It is.
No, I mean it was designed a while ago. It's not like a
Yeah, and he constantly has like been improving it. It's like a new model.
uh,
That's why they were like delayed for so long.
well, in any case.
I don't know. It's the small one. It's not the same size as like a normal USB port. That's what plugs into
Again,
the
that
DS.
I don't know what that means. Is that just micro? Assume it just means it's micro, but like that could be mini or I mean this small doesn't mean 3 or 2. Small just means small.
Well, it's small.
Okay.
Small to big.
Small to big.
USB to USB. Is it even USB anymore if it's small? Just SB or just US or something?
That's not what the U stands for.
I know.
Also, wouldn't it just be UB?
I don't know, man.
Just remove the S for small. UBB.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I test that, I guess, and get see if I can get the bot working and see if
Boot up Link Between Worlds to see if the green
yeah,
is still green.
yeah. Um, but the other thing that I did want to do, I think I mentioned this to you, and I don't know if this is like the next thing, but um, just like sit down and go through like an OpenGL tutorial at some point.
Oh yeah, I mean if you want to do it together, I'm also fine with that.
Um,
Good
I had like
motivation.
half a mind to like try and get it working in Delphi instead of like C++ or whatever the normal, tutorials
Delphi is
are.
like the thing that you use,
Yeah,
or
Delphi is like basically my bread and butter these days. So,
gotcha. I've never used Delphi before.
yeah, I mean
That
that's
might make it a little harder for me
well,
to
we don't
jump in
have
on.
to use the same.
It's true, but it's a little easier.
I agree, but it would be a lot
Maybe
of,
it's just an excuse for me to learn a new
I
language. That's,
guess. I mean,
I mean, how hard could it be to learn a language?
I learned it in, you know, Wake or whatever.
Use of Rust. I actually
I wouldn't
probably
mind
should
learning
learn
Rust,
Rust.
but
It's come up at least once in my life where it's like, hey, someone wrote a really good library for this, but it's written in Rust, and so you can't use it. And I'm like, oh,
yeah.
yeah,
But
that's not good.
so honestly, the main reason that my like mind turned to Delphi is because um it has a built-in or
Like
packaged with it
window
or
manager or
whatever
something.
well window manager but also just like a full um Windows like control suite. It's called a VCL. It's got a form designer, and you can put buttons and labels and panels, and
What platforms is that
it's
like?
Windows. Yeah,
That
but that's not the the reason that's useful.
is for the
OpenGL
editor.
aside is so you can edit or debug or whatever, and then the actual thing can still sit outside of that and be platform agnostic or whatever.
Gotcha.
Um, and
Yeah,
the form designer is quite good. It's the best that I've ever used.
this is the only reason why you've used Rust. I mean, the only thing I really know about Rust is that it's basically C. I just like don't know anything
It's
really
like
about it.
C but safe or something like that. I'm sure that's
Yeah,
like dramatically
it's
oversimplifying, but
something like that. It's like C with guardrails.
I mean
Uh,
I don't know syntactically what it's like, but um but that being
but C
said, I
is
think that
like much more
actually
like modernisms
I
than what exists.
all that being said, I think you actually can use VCL and C++ as well.
What's VCL's
It's
the window thing?
the form designer, form
Gotcha. Well,
library,
I can
whatever.
tell you don't use Avalonia.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's definitely like better than like anything I've seen in C sharp, and it's definitely better
Uh,
than like trying to write something in Python or
I mean,
for example.
WinForms is fine, honestly, but I can't say I'm familiar with the other systems.
Yeah.
I obviously like Smart already has like an entire thing written in WinForm,
Mhm. Yeah.
like um, so that has like level editor mechanisms.
Mhm.
Process is pretty foreign if you know C. Yeah, I know like syntactically it's very different. Like they have changed a lot of like the paradigms of like what the language like looks like. And I've had similar issues when I've like worked with VHDL. It's like all the syntax and like paradigms are just like entirely different, and it's very frustrating. 'Cause that was I think more similar to like COBOL or whatever. But
Mm.
um it's like it's old. But I bet more of like uh the kind of like level of language it is, like the structure of the language, I guess.
Yeah.
I really do not want to use Qt though. Also, Qt technically has like some awkward licensing stuff going on with it.
Mm.
This like came up at work. I think like the way their license works is like if you're doing it for free, it's fine. But if you're using it like professionally, you basically can't really realistically use Qt without using the Qt suite editor.
Mhm.
Like you basically use their like suite editor to build the forms. Like it compiles the forms that you like load in. So like you kind of need their software suite,
Yeah, I mean,
and that is it's fine. Um but it's they're basically like they don't want you using it professionally unless you either buy like one of the professional licenses, or I think if you contribute then it's also like they like allow it kind of
hmm.
thing. That's what I remember reading back in the day. PyQt's LGPL. Oh, I didn't even realize it was GPL. That was even more awkward.
Well, I'm not planning on writing Python for
Yeah, Python is not my go-to for anything.
so I mean I like also not planning this, but it would be like, the third or fourth choice way ahead of Python would be just web.
Web,
Yeah, like WebGL or whatever.
like JavaScript,
Yeah, exactly.
TypeScript.
Yeah.
Yuck.
Um, but again, for the same reason that you can somewhat more easily create like a UI just to like play with, right? But yeah, yeah, no, I would prefer not to.
Yeah.
But I
One
mean,
thing
at the
about
same time, like
Delphi is that it has like I mean outside of your work, I've like literally never
never
heard
heard of it. Yeah,
of it. So
yeah.
yeah, just talking about it. Yeah, I mean using make designing good like web sorry not web, like user interfaces is like a thing that is like still annoying that it is like a problem that is really hard to like deal with.
Hmm.
I mean, I still do like Windows suites. It's just they don't only work on Windows, and Windows kind of has a tendency to like immediately obsolete their like frameworks for like a new one.
Yeah, that's yeah,
And
Delphi is like VCL forms have been around for like over 20 years or whatever, and they're just still running strong.
yeah,
They get like updates or whatever, but
it is VCL like I guess you're probably the wrong person to ask. Is it similar to WinForms in like how it's structured, or is it more like WPF, or is it like more like Qt, or more like
um,
TK?
in terms of like what, like the form designer, or in terms of like
The form designer, yeah,
so
and like functionality.
the way that it works is you've got, you know, a form and you have like controls that you can place on the form or whatever, and then the form and all the controls on the form have like properties, right? There's an object inspector is what it's called, and you can like set the properties, and so it'll
Mhm.
be like, you know, the coordinates or whatever, and the size, and then like a caption and the color, and you know anything you could imagine that would affect the control. Um, you just set in the object inspector, and then yeah, I don't know. That's like basically how it works.
It sounds probably a bit more like WinForms than WPF then, or UWP or any of those other ones.
Yeah,
Uh, WPF is like XAML. So developing the forms is more similar to writing
right.
HTML.
Yeah, so this it's like I guess one of the big questions that comes up when it comes to like form designing is like how things like, you know, flow or whatever in terms of controls, right? Like, is it like HTML where they just get put where they get put and, you know, they fill as much as you, is it like kind of figures it needs to kind of thing? Or do you like place them down, right? And they are where they are. And yeah, the VCL is like that. You can like, um,
That sounds more like TK
you
then.
can anchor controls. So what that means is like if you like placed a button somewhere and you anchored it to the right side, you can, you know, right, left, top, bottom, and any combination that makes sense. If you like resize the form, you know, just drag it or whatever, it would go along. So if you like
Right.
grab the right side and drag, it would
Are
move
the
with the right side.
containers that have like relative anchoring?
Yeah, 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 yeah. And then you can anchor,
Okay.
and you can also
Doc.
yeah, I'm trying to remember what it's called. My brain is like dead. What is the word for it? Client? No, I'm feeling dumb. But yeah, you can make it so that it's like you have a control that basically like either fills an entire control, or you can have like a control that is fills like the right side of a control, and then something that fills like the rest of the control, and you can put a splitter between those that the user can, you know, resize between them or whatever by dragging it
Gotcha.
around. And
Yeah, I mean that doesn't sound too dissimilar to to WinForms then.
gotcha. Yeah. But I don't remember the exact history, but it's very possible that um one or both of the like C sharp, big C sharp ones or whatever are like spiritual descendants from the VCL, if not like designed like lead by the same person.
Gotcha.
Because the language itself, that is the case. The language was like, I believe, like the Delphi, one of the main like designers or whatever, went on to work for Microsoft and design C sharp or whatever.
Yeah,
So
probably WinForms then. I have to wonder if someone has made like a VCL implementation for not
maybe,
Windows.
maybe. Oh,
I mean, that's
yeah, no, I
constantly.
think that, well,
I mean, that's
so,
constantly relevant for my work because I work as like we need you to design these like user forums, and I'm like, well,
VCL I doubt because like it really is like built as a wrapper around Windows controls. Like every object or whatever that you have like really truly is like a Windows object. Like it has a handle and you can, if you want to, you can like go in and like call actual Windows API functions to do stuff with them, right? Um,
hmm.
but it does have like if yeah, it does, Delphi does have other graphics like libraries or whatever. I've never used them because we always just
I mean,
make
can
Windows
it
stuff.
embed
But
a canvas, like a GL canvas?
yeah, I mean somehow I would have to figure out how to do that. But
Sure.
I mean the same way any Windows window can.
So, so a lot of times when you design like a like a like a sorry, OpenGL or DirectX or whatever stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
you do not use these kind of foreign
Right.
programs.
Sure. Yeah.
There are other so the few things that you tend to lose with those programs. One is they tend to have their own input handling, which usually plays poorly.
Sure. I
Um,
mean, it's just in VCL case, it's literally just the Windows message like queue.
yeah. So sometimes those kind of interrupt poorly. There's also usually the GL, like you need to have it be able to resize the your like window and stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
like there's a bunch of things you need to tell GL that like when you resize the window, they're like, hey, this is the size of the viewport or whatever.
Like
And so you
registering
need to like
callbacks and stuff.
so you need to like have like good callbacks for that stuff,
Yeah.
and like
Yeah.
some of the systems tend to be like slow, or like they're like kind of laggy, which leads to like, some ugliness,
Mm-hmm.
or like you have like issues with like um it like it has its own like rendering pipeline on top of it that like basically adds more like weight to the program than is needed to
Yeah.
render.
Yeah.
So if your whole game is just like a single viewport of the GL canvas,
You
then
should just open your own window. Yeah, absolutely.
yeah,
But
exactly.
yeah, no, yeah, I follow.
Yeah.
And
I
again, I mean, I wouldn't suggest like actually like building a game using the
yeah,
VCL.
you're
It's
just talking about
just
making an editor or whatever.
making an
Yeah.
editor, making debugger, making a program to help, learn. Yeah, yeah, not really thinking super long term, but
Sure.
at the same time, if I don't know, if C++ is the way to go, then C++ is the way to go.
I mean, personally, if I had the choice between C++ and C sharp, it's going to be C sharp these days.
Right, of course.
Like I just have way more experience in it,
Yeah.
and it is slower. It's
Yeah.
definitely slower,
Yeah.
but it gives you so many conveniences
Yeah.
that every time I write C++ code, I tend to just write C. To be
Yeah.
completely honest.
Yeah. I mean, when I say C++, I mean, Lumens and Shades is written in C.
Hmm.
Um, it was a C++ project at the start, and I was just like, yeah, I am not like doing any classes or anything because I don't really need to, and also I didn't want to like everything's a struct, so I can put it on the stack or whatever, right? I mean, you can put classes on the stack, but
Is I don't know what that is.
I don't know what that is. But yeah, so I ended up just like changing the project to a C project, and like it was fine.
That's funny.
Yeah, and I don't know, it simplified a lot of things actually. But I mean, C obviously has its problems.
Yeah. Also relevant, I guess, is both Godot and Unreal are C++.
C. Oh, are they C? I thought they were C sharp.
No, Unity is C sharp.
Wait, I thought Godot was C sharp and Godot Lang or whatever that Godot script, G script or whatever the heck.
No, Godot is C++. There is I think it's like
C sharp
similar in
support or
other ones.
whatever.
Like there's C sharp support, but uh it is like natively C++. That's like the more feature like
Gotcha.
oriented side. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Understood.
Not that I'm like really committed to using any of those,
Mm-hmm.
but
Well, I mean, yeah.
um I'm pretty sure I'm trying to remember. I'm pretty sure the way it plays out is that Godot and Unity are generally OpenGL while Unreal is DirectX. I think that's like kind of how it like plays out.
Mm,
It's been a while. I don't remember the details on
sure.
that. I don't know what like where Vulkan fits into the picture.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at the end of the day, if the goal is to like learn OpenGL, it's, actually the thing you're learning is what GLSL or
Relevant.
whatever, and then
Yeah.
a bunch of API calls which are going to be the same in any language you use for the most part.
Yeah. I
So,
mean, on paper, I can like tell you right now that like like GPU shader stuff is
hmm
like there's like a bunch of overhead of like figuring out like how to like make GL calls or whatever.
yeah,
But like most of your work should like live in
in
the
the
shaders.
shaders, yeah.
And shaders are not that complicated. You just need to A, like understand the GPU pipeline,
hmm
and B, you have to like basically just learn the tricks. Like there's like techniques, like
Mm,
I guess you can even call it like a craft if you wish, of like
hmm
things that work and things that don't work. And I've seen a lot of people just like, oh, here's like a shader thing that you can do, blah blah, that has this effect, and like you can, use it if you wish, kind of thing.
hmm
So there's a lot of that. Um, but yeah, I mean, I know there's a lot of tools for like there's certain things that you kind of walk into that like take a lot of either very talented artists or very good tools. So
Mm,
like for example, quaternions, like
yeah.
that dreaded thing,
Is it
like they,
dreaded?
well, their implementation is pretty simple. It's why they're like really like these nice things. The problem is that like your artists or whoever that is, whether it's yourself or whatever,
hmm
will forever hate you for using a quaternions.
I see.
Yeah. It's like one of those things where it's like um the values of the quaternion have no like real like intuitive effect like from like oh this value has this effect and this value has this effect.
Hmm.
So you can't just go in and like just like tweak the quaternions or like look at the quaternions and be like, oh, if I mix these two quaternions, what effect is it gonna like? None of that makes any sense.
Hmm.
You have to basically have some sort of either your editor has to have some sort of way to translate like this quaternion has this effect in like a more sane geometry,
Uh-huh.
and so your artist can work with that, and that's really I think that's the kind of common way to go about it. But there's
Hmm.
like all sorts of like this comes down to how good your tooling becomes.
Sure.
um, because yeah, the implementations usually aren't that ridiculous. But there are like lots of oh yeah, you can use this like trick to like simplify some calculation or whatever,
Right.
and that goes back to the same like shader stuff of like knowing stuff like that.
Yeah, I've never worked with them, neither in, actual programming or like in math or whatever. But I mean, isn't the gist that they like don't have like various issues with like you can't look straight up kind of like things, and also like the what was it, the like gimbal lock problems and stuff like that? They just like don't have those issues.
Quaternions
Yeah.
don't have gimbal locks. There's like kind of two big reasons for using quaternions. One is there's no gimbal lock, and
Yeah.
and the reason for that is because you have an extra
Right.
you
Extra
basically have an extra
dimension.
degree of
Yeah.
freedom. But the main reason is that the math is just simpler.
Sure.
Because if you have
So it's faster.
quaternions,
There's a performance.
it's a performance thing.
Yeah.
Because it turns all of your rotations into like vector math.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the vector math for quaternions is very simple, like multiplications,
Hmm.
compared to if you're using like um, some sort of what's it called like radial geometry, whatever the term is called.
Sure.
Um, with like a theta and
Yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
phi or whatever. Like if you have something like that, then like you have to like calculate this rotation matrix and
Yeah.
then do this matrix multiplication. So the
Mm-hmm.
math gets like a harder, like more computationally intensive. Um,
More trig.
yeah, there's more trig involved. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like you'll have to do that trig anyways if you
But it's a
in the editor,
question
but
of
like
like once or like every step kind of thing.
well, if the question is, does it happen during runtime or does it happen during editing? And so
I
you take the
see.
extra hit during editing, but
Mm-hmm.
during runtime you basically like pre-compile these things into these
Makes
quaternions.
sense. Yeah.
Yeah,
Spiffy.
yeah. There's a lot of techniques that come down to pre-processing data.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, classics are like something called light baking. I don't know if you heard of that
I've
technique
heard of it,
before.
yeah.
So light baking is basically just pre-computing lighting,
Mm-hmm.
and there are plenty of scenes where you can do that and it isn't really noticeable and it saves tons of computation.
Mm-hmm.
Mip maps, another one,
Sure.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's also like a lot of things where it's like, hey, you can like use a formula to like kind of do a so for example, if you're like rendering like a ripple effect of water, like you just want to have like a water lake rippling effect.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can just like have a bunch of like mathematical formulas to describe the surface of the water,
Yeah.
and then just like calculate it on runtime, or you can like pre-compute it into like a texture.
Right.
And that's like almost always how like usually when they do like water effects is they'll have like four different like water ripple textures, and then they just move them the four textures they kind of like like they scroll independently and like overlay them,
Mm-hmm.
and so stuff like that. There's a lot of like techniques to cheat basically to give
Right.
like good enough effects that like save.
Yep.
But there's also things that are like not like that. Like for example, there's ways to like batch like GL commands and stuff like that. Because usually,
Yeah, I think I've yeah, I think
yeah,
I've
because usually
come
the
across
biggest
that.
thing that's gonna be like your bottleneck typically is gonna be um the transfer between the GPU and CPU.
Right.
More so typically than actual like
Math,
GPU like
yeah.
time. Yeah. So like there are techniques where it's like, hey, we're gonna preload all these commands all at once, and then you can just tell the GPU to like, hey, just run these commands that you are preloaded,
Mhm.
stuff like that.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah. But yeah, like for the start, like yeah, just understanding what the GPU pipeline is
Very important. Yeah.
it's very important to be doing shader stuff. Now, I will say that you definitely can do GPU stuff without knowing shaders.
Sure, but should
Like
you?
you can I would say no,
Yeah.
but basically you can like use the basic shaders, or if you're using some like UI, it probably comes with a bunch of shaders already. Like has its own like shader thing. And then you basically just configure the shader, configure GL through GL commands,
Right.
and then you like can kind of look at it from that perspective. But yeah, I think it's better to do it properly. Um, yeah, when you start going to like more 3D stuff, you start then also running into like the geometry aspect, like the more just straight math geometry,
Mhm.
and uh, Joe, you're running in CUDA. Yeah, I mean, I do not know CUDA at all.
I don't know anything.
Um, but yeah, like there is kind of a like most people who do game dev basically have no understanding of the math, and the math kind of just
Mm.
like gets in the way sometimes. It gets awkward a lot of times. Like the math that you do on GPL stuff is like kind of as a breakaway from the more typical from a lot of the way the math stuff is done. So
What do you
a
mean
lot of
by
people who do
that?
programming also just hate math. So like it tends to they tend to just not really know that stuff. So it's pretty easy to get away without really knowing. Like not you don't have to know what perspective geometry is, for example. Like you don't have to understand how the perspective geometry transformation matrix works.
Right.
But having an understanding of how it works is like useful for writing shaders,
Right.
because like you kind of have to like know what you're manipulating to be able to like manipulate it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's all math that I've seen in my life for sure. But
Yeah, probably.
yeah.
I mean, I didn't really touch perspective geometry outside of a GL class I took, but
Yeah, I mean that's kind of where well, no, I also took like a proper geometry, like a
yeah,
400 level geometry class or whatever, and
gotcha.
although that was like mm, we did a lot of I mean, I guess perspective geometry is like the correct term, but it was like drawing perspective or whatever.
Yeah, the 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 perspective geometry is the like if you have like there's kind of like two different variations of it. There's like the pure form, which is kind of like if you have like a basically point source camera
Mm-hmm.
in a world and you like
Yeah.
looked out, it's like what does the world look like? But the more proper one is that you have to like project this like image onto like a 2D
Yeah.
surface.
Yeah.
and then it's like what how do things moving in like three space like affect how things move on your like projection, and then you like can work on the projection itself as a geometry.
Yeah. We like learned, I don't know. I think we also did like 2 point perspective, which was a thing.
Sure.
Um, in math, this is like oddly, I feel like that was like the class where I did the most
Arc.
like modeling, I guess, like I've
Uh-huh.
ever done. Yeah.
Yeah. I did zero modeling in my graphics class. We just used like a bunch of like actually no, that's not true. I did use Blender. Fuck.
I know, I never used Blender in school. We used this like, I mean, it was a math program. It was, I don't remember what it was, but I definitely don't have it anymore. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean we're mostly just using kind of like the standard like there's a handful of like in OpenGL of like these models that like are the test models that everyone
Sure.
uses.
Yeah.
That's mostly what we're
Yeah, no,
using. Like there's like a chessboard, there's like the
the teapot.
teapot, the
Yeah.
monkey face.
I remember we had to like make a like drawing of like it was a church like from the outside. And it was like it had like a steeple and like a clock face on the and no, so this was like more like, you know how there's like that whole thing where it's like you have like only a compass and a straight edge and you're like there's like a bunch of like things you can do with that or whatever.
Yeah, like
It,
certain
like
things you can and cannot draw
and
or
cannot
whatever.
draw or whatever. So it's like kind of like that. This program was like you have like a limited number of tools and you basically just like draw a bunch of lines and eventually you have like, your image.
Hmm.
But we had to like basically draw things like in perspective. And I remember now that what was interesting about it was that you like basically everything was anchored to these perspective points, and so there was like if you move the perspective points, the image would change accordingly. Just neat. And you could like pull them apart and, you know, but yeah, that was a weird class. And I did like super well in that class, and my teacher was like confused. Uh, I was like, "Yeah, I'm in like computer science." And he's like, "Why are you here?"
It's
Uh, he's like, "You should like do math."
funny.
Yeah,
Yeah. I remember there's a lot of problems that we learned about in my GL class that were like, yep, these are hard problems. Good luck. I didn't really like explain the solution to them really.
hmm
I think probably the most I think the big one that we came up was transparency.
Sure.
They're like, yeah, there's techniques you can use to basically like ensure the order that the all of your polygons are like rendered in so that you at least get a consistent look from their incorrect transparency.
hmm
But it's like the correct solution for transparency is ray tracing,
Sure. Yeah.
which at the time was like not even considered a real time process at all. So the fact that that's like
Right.
now a thing is like I don't know what like RTX looks like.
I don't know, man. Just build the game in a real physical space and set up a camera. No one will know the difference.
Every time someone plays a game, it's just a live stream of like an
Yeah,
actual
yeah,
camera.
yeah.
This is really laggy.
No, dude, it's like inside the computer. It's just really tiny. The true strats. That's how half the AI startups work. The monkeys in the computer will do it for you. Like, come on, man. I I'm still laughing at like um there were some like AI startups or whatever that I saw like people were talking about on Twitter where they were like there's these problems that like you have to like deal with. And the company's response was we'll just have the AI deal with it. Like the AI that they're writing will solve the AI that they're writing. It's like I
That seems validatable.
yeah, I'm unsure if this is insanity or genius, but it is likely not the latter.
I definitely have spent a few times trying to talk my boss down from like, I know AI is very hype right now,
Yeah,
but
yeah. Huh, this thing doesn't show up in the hacking windows. That's weird. I wonder why that is. But yeah, I mean, if I choose to go the route of um like want to try and like go the route of Delphi or even like C++ builder or whatever the heck they call it, um I would probably have to spend some time like just offline trying to figure out how to like, open thing, like just get it even started for diving in, but
sure. Well, if you do, let me know, I guess.
mhm.
You'll have to give me the pitch. Why Delphi?
Why Delphi? I mean, I still wouldn't mind like we did different languages or whatever. I almost feel like that would give us a broader perspective perhaps, but
For making a choice.
yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. We wouldn't be able to like directly share. I mean, the shader code would still.
I mean, I think in the end, when you're looking at GL, like it kind of that's
Yeah,
kind of
that's
the thing.
why
Is
I
like when you
say
look at GL, like it really doesn't
it
matter
really
what
doesn't
language you
matter.
use.
Yeah. Which is why I
Like,
was like even like humoring like just WebGL, right? Because honestly, it would be fine, but
yeah.
oh, that didn't look good. Uh,
Oh, those are two Archeops in there. How did they
I've
get
never
there?
seen this trainer before. Search your deck
The
for two
top two
cards
cards
and discard.
discard.
No, search your deck for two cards and discard them.
That's an incredible card for that deck. Holy
Yeah.
fuck. Holy shit, that card is incredible.
What is
That
this?
card is not good for that deck. What?
Each player can't have more than four Pokemon.
Yeah, it just
Yeah,
it's -1
that's
Pokemon.
fine. I don't care.
Is this not an Archeops deck? Why would you?
I don't know. I mean, they have a Luminion, so that is a bit strange.
It just no. Luminion just means you can get the trainer card out. It's search for trainer
Oh, I see.
or search for supporter. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's like a basic card that you can play to guarantee that you can get your Archeops into the graveyard. Yeah, that one's actually a pretty normal card to see.
Yeah, I see it on all sorts of decks, and it never
Yeah.
attacks.
And they have colorless mana on it too, so they almost certainly are just running full colorless in that deck. I mean, this is just like, yeah, just like Lugia Archeops. I'm
I'm going to
assuming.
lose as a result.
I've only fought this deck like once in my life.
Well, in theory, if they don't bench anything this turn,
Then you can wait. Therapeutic. What are they playing?
they bench
Okay, they
something. Okay.
had basics in their
Oh my
hand that they
god,
didn't
that's a lot
play.
of. Oh, it's an EX. I was gonna say, this Mew has a lot of health. Yeah, I noticed they discarded another Archeops.
Yeah, that's the 151 Mew.
Ah, gotcha. Oh. Does this just draw a basic, or what does it do?
Adds look search for a
Any
Pokemon.
Pokemon. Oh, that's convenient.
Yeah,
I can make use of that in theory.
50%.
There's the Lugia. And so that goes down, I suppose.
Luigi. Yeah, I mean they better play because they need to turn to a EX.
What does the Lugia do again?
EX. It pulls two Pokemon from the graveyard into
Oh, that's
play.
right. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
So they and an ability, so they don't need an energy. They just need to pull the card out if they don't have it already, and then
Mm-hmm.
they get their Archeops out, and then they need literally anything that is going to be able to like take advantage of it. Yeah,
Got him.
that's flipping.
I don't know if I actually want to play this though. I lose my draw power.
And your professor's research is going to give you a lot of your energy back.
Yeah, I have so many cards in my hand though. I almost don't want to play it right away. Uh, this is fine, I guess. Should I? Do I use Lady again before using Professor's Research? That's the question.
It is a question.
Yeah. Well, feels like I can take a kill, so I should do it. I don't know. This might be a bad play. Oh, and I do need to use a trainer. I don't know which one to use though.
Well, I think taking the kill is the correct play.
I'm gonna Professor's Research and see if I can't get some boss's orders in my hand. Yeah, it's fine.
Hmm. Get your lady back.
Yeah, yeah.
Will you run heavy ball now?
I have one, yeah.
For what?
Mewtwo and Mimikyu.
But you have two Mewtwo's.
Yeah, and I want to use both of them in a lot of games.
I guess.
Yeah,
Sure.
because like one of them's gonna get revenge killed, and if I don't have like a leg up at that point, I'm probably gonna lose, right?
Yeah, the fact my deck only has one Raikou is very sad still.
Hold on. Yeah, I mean they're just having a hard time developing their. Okay, well they got the Lugia, I guess.
Yep.
And that's
And
an
then they're gonna go.
ability.
Yep. Star ability.
Okay, so they've developed their entire bench in a single turn
Yeah.
then. Yeah.
They're Lugia, they have their Archeops, and then they can put down.
Anything that they
Well,
like.
they can put all their
What?
energy on their Mew, and then the Mew can
What
just
the
immediately
heck
like.
was that?
They grab a Snorlax. I mean, maybe they already had a Lugia.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, they already had it.
Yeah.
Prevent
And
all
this
effects of
guy.
attacks from your opponent's Pokemon done to this Pokemon. Damage is not in effect. And then the Archeops drive return, right?
Yeah, they take two
Yeah.
energy every turn from the deck.
I
That's
mean,
not usually how you use Jet Energy.
But I think they're just getting out of their hand so that they could use Professor's research, I guess. I don't know. This
That
whole game has been pretty questionable
seems
on their
that
end.
seems weird. Yeah, I don't know about that one. Because you might want to draw better energy than jet energy anyways.
Yeah, it's true.
Like I actually usually don't play energy if I'm about to use Professor's research because there's just such a high chance of drawing another energy.
Mm-hmm. Does this Mew evolve? Mew EX? No, it doesn't.
Weird draw. Really?
Wait, what did they just take? Was it a tool?
No, it was a Pokemon.
Oh. Oh, the stag thing? Oh god, am I
Yeah.
dead? If my Gardevoir dies, I'm gonna be in a real bad place.
I don't know what it can use that would
One
do
of your
that much.
opponent's active Pokemon's attacks. I should be fine.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I should be fine. Transfer, well, honestly, Miracle Force is their strongest. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I was planning on backing out this turn anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you have a bunch of energy in your graveyard now, so dang. No Mewtwo
Well,
EX.
I've got two Ultra Balls. I think I can manage.
Ultra Ball the basics. Rest in peace, Heavy Ball.
Well, okay, I have all
Welcome
my
back,
energy
Corellia.
now.
A lot of energy.
Yeah, and it's all going into the discard. Actually, I don't know if I want to go that hard on it because
They can use those moves. Well, you already have one
no,
now.
that's not my problem. They can't use Mewtwo's move, not really anyway.
Also, I assume you're just killing the Mew anyways, unless you're killing something
Yes, I'm
else.
killing the Mew. Um, no, the problem is that you can't use Gardevoir's ability on non-psychic Pokemon, so that means I can't actually use it on Swablu. So if I want to like get Altaria active, I would need to place energy on it, which I'm kind of screwing myself out of. I would need to, but
Yeah.
I don't think I'm gonna need. I don't think I'm gonna need it. I think it's fine. Oh my god, yeah, that is a lot of energy. Holy smokes.
Choose which one are you gonna put down?
I don't know, man. Okay, well, just in case they boss's orders out the Gardevoir, I will
Just get both of them active.
get everything active.
I mean, the only downside is then you're not stacking the Gardevoir Psychic or whatever to be able to do 300 damage.
I don't know what you mean by that.
Isn't it like does like plus 30 per energy on it or something?
No.
Okay. I thought that's how the regular Gardevoir worked.
Oh, this is a different one. I don't have that Gardevoir in the deck.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, not the EX. The EX is different.
And there's boss's orders. Unfortunately, they don't have another V on the bench. So if they put down a V that has less than
You have a
270
V
health, I
star.
can.
You can kill
I mean,
that.
they're gonna take the Lugia out, right? I can't kill the Lugia in one turn. That's the problem. Yeah. Okay. They Snorlaxed. I mean, I can just take the Snorlax out. That's not a problem.
Yeah, it's win in 2 turns basically.
Yeah. And they can't kill both of these This was like the perfect like setup. I actually never have it go this well. I mean,
Yeah, I mean they can kill the Gardevoir
they
obviously,
can kill the
but
Gardevoir and they can kill like one or both of the Mewtwo's, but like they need to take way too many prize cards to win this game, and I have like a full team just ready to revenge kill whatever they kill. So
hmm
it's looking good, but okay. So what does this do? This Pokemon is now asleep. Oh, okay.
yeah, it's asleep for 4 turns. And like retreat cost of 4. It's a weird Pokemon. I wouldn't put it into a deck.
I mean, you can't confuse it, I guess.
I mean, the real reason that you have it is that it's 150 health basic
Yeah, I suppose
with
so,
one prize
but so is
card.
this Archeops. Eh.
That is not a basic stage 2 evolution.
Oh, that's what I mean by basic. But still, one prize card.
Yeah, yeah, but it's basic, so it's a good stall. You can just drop it for free,
Mm-hmm.
and like you can have some time to build up your Archeops combo. While it takes them probably like 2 turns to kill your Snorlax. And then also, when they kill your Snorlax, since you're not killing anything, it means that they can they can then play reversal energy as well, since they're probably playing for stall. So
Yeah, it actually woke up.
I mean, irrelevant, but sure.
Yeah. So do I just kill the Snorlax, or do I like try and drag in this Lugia and like two-turn it?
I would not try to 2 turn a Lugia because it doesn't take you 2 bosses orders to kill it.
Yeah, but I could get another one.
Yeah, that's riskier.
I know. They're gonna just Iono it away.
Yeah.
Well, there's the other boss's orders.
Kirlia killed Kirlia.
Yep.
Yeah, you kind of didn't want to draw that.
No, that's fine.
They're
I've
going to Iono you.
the
I mean, if you're
problem
in a
is
boss's
if
order, I would kill their like Archeops, but I mean, it's
hmm,
kind of irrelevant
it
to be
doesn't really
honest.
matter. The problem is like whichever one I kill, they're gonna let's just roll this roll the timer. Um, they're gonna swap the Lugia in. So if I just do it myself, it is a risk, but at the same time, I'm gonna have to kill the Lugia anyway. Like it doesn't really matter, right?
It's your call.
Yeah. Whatever. We'll see what they do. What does this move do? You may discard a stadium. Yeah, go for it. It is a bit awkward in terms of like the energy now, though. Do you think they retreat?
It was Snorlax, probably.
Even if they bosses orders, I don't give a crap.
Well, they can't bosses order anything when they kill Kirlia.
Oh, they could. Yeah.
And what if they do 50 damage to everything on the bench?
I still would actually be okay, but
Oh, that would be scary. Oh, there it is.
during your turn, when this Pokemon moves from your bench to the active spot, you may move any amount of energy from your other Pokemon to it. Yeah, okay.
What do you have for each energy?
Yeah,
I mean, that
okay.
can do 280.
I don't care. I have another Mewtwo. Oh, wait, but my energy situation is bad. No,
Yeah, you
it's fine.
can't do
It's fine. No, it's
220.
fine. It's fine.
As long
It's
as they
fine.
don't boss
It's fine.
shuffle your
It's
hand out.
fine. It's fine. It's
I mean,
fine.
they
Yeah,
get your boss's
as long
order.
as they don't EO now. Yeah.
This is gonna take a while.
Yeah.
How much more energy do you think they have in the deck?
Don't know. Don't care.
I want to see them hit for like over 1,000.
I mean, aren't
So
they
yeah, like
subtracting 20 off their damage multiple times though because of gen energy or whatever?
only the turbo energies
The
like
turbo
that.
energy. Yeah, it was enough
I don't think
damage.
they have any turbo energy in that deck. I don't think they even use their Aki up, so I think they're probably just out of energy.
Money.
All right, well, GG. They
Well,
didn't EO no
no.
you.
Oh, yeah, I guess it is just over. I was gonna say I don't have like enough energy actually to do a full damage to this Lugia, but or the yeah, okay, whatever.
Not
But I had
really.
another plan, so it's fine. Sad face. What I could have done was used what's her face to pull my Gardevoir back into play. So
Well, there's the rest of them. And that, my friends, is why you run 4
yep,
bosses
I
orders.
know, I know.
You already drew one from the prize that game, so there's 3 in there.
Yeah, okay, that was a game. That was how that deck looks when it goes well. We have a recording of it now.
That's a pretty dope
Rare
deck.
rare situation. But against a deck that didn't really seem to know what it wanted to do, so I mean
Yeah,
they were trying.
they're trying. Yeah.
They got their Archeops out. It's
They
very
got it out pretty quickly. It was like
yeah.
turn
But I
two,
also
three.
had I also had my
Gardevoir.
Gardevoir out on turn 3 and
Yeah.
2
You got
Mewtwo's in turn 4, so
yeah, they got their Archeops a turn before you got your combo out. But
they couldn't do anything with it apparently.
yeah, because all they had was Mew, which
Yeah.
like
Isn't actually that
honestly
effective
just
against my deck? Yeah.
yeah, I don't see that card being that good. Like
It
if it's
really
like a
depends on what you're up against.
yeah, but it's like a 3 energy cost card.
Yeah.
So it's like okay, like just thinking about it, like it's got to be doing better than a normal 3 energy cost damage, which is like what 220 damage or something like that.
Sure.
So it's like okay, what are you gonna copy out there that's doing like more than
Charizard.
that amount of damage? Eh, No, charge doesn't even do that much. Not unless it's like the end of the
Not unless it's in
game.
the end of the game, but
Yeah. So it's like if they have like a brilliant Charizard out or a radiant Charizard, sorry,
oh, sure, yeah.
it's like yeah, it's 250. It's a little bit better. It's like and then just like some really weird ones like Whale Lord. Like there's cards that like no one plays. Like
Mm-hmm.
there's a bunch of cards that are like this is a 5 energy cost like move. And it's like, ah, now you can play for 3. But
Well,
like no one plays those cards.
yeah. I also don't know the rules for things like the Lost Zone like requirements. Like let's say they have like a Sableye benched or whatever.
The cards say the moves say cards in the lost zone that you've discarded.
Well, that's not my
Now,
question. My question is, does that restriction even apply if Mew's using this? I mean, it probably does, right? But
I would assume it does, yeah.
yeah, yeah, I agree.
I mean, even Sable is still only 120 damage.
Yeah, but to your bench,
Yeah.
wreak havoc or
It's not
whatever.
bad, but it's
Yeah, I
yeah.
know.
It's like the thing is like yeah, that's the problem with Mew is it like it was like a 2 energy cost card to be
It'd
broken,
be
and if it's
amazing.
3, it's like not.
Or even if it had just like a decent chunk more health, like like
It's
above
two.
the.
It's like 220, I
No, it's
think.
180 or 190, was
Oh,
it? I think it was 180.
it's a
It
little.
was pretty
It's a
low.
slightly below average for a V Pokemon, but or an
Yeah,
EX, but
yeah. I mean, it is a basic, I guess.
Yeah, like basics tend to be around 200 health, so
Yeah.
it's like laughing that like Entei is like literally Entei V is like identical to Raikou V. All three of them are like Suicune as
Mm-hmm.
well. But like the only difference is that like Entei's got like slightly more health and Suicune's got like slightly less health. Their like moves are identical. I'm like, why?
I mean, they have different types also, which I guess may play into that a little bit, but
I mean that implies that those types have like a inherent
yeah,
bias,
I
which
mean, I mean, it might be true.
I guess, but I kind of doubt that fire has a disadvantage here with the Charizard being.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, right in the meta deck is like colorless, so it's a little awkward. But
Mm-hmm. Can't afford that deck though. Well, actually, I don't know. Maybe. Probably
I
not.
cannot afford that deck.
Probably not. Because like the Lugias would be like 1,000 each, right?
Yeah,
Or more because you gotta get 2 cards for
I
it.
think the Archeops are like 750.
Oh my god,
Yeah,
it's pretty bad.
I mean, in theory, once you have like, you basically have your Lugias, you have like two of each or whatever, and your
Mm-hmm.
Archeops, which you have I think
Four.
like four, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you really even need four to be honest.
No, I don't think
Like,
you need 4 in play ever, but I mean,
um,
as always, just
and
make
then
them
you just
use
have
using
like
them. But
one of like 20 different Pokemon that just get stronger the more energy on them that are colorless.
mm-hmm.
Or there's like a few colored ones you can do because there's a few colorless energy that give color under certain conditions, and
Yeah, the
most of
rainbow
them are like,
energy, right?
well, there's reversal energy, but
I've never seen anyone really run that.
I have.
It's like so
Uh,
hard to use though.
it's not that hard. If you like intentionally stall to start, you'll be able to use it.
I guess until you
Yeah,
get
like I've seen
ahead.
it used pretty effectively in Charizard decks
Hmm.
because they
Sure.
usually want to get behind and then kill you.
I suppose so.
Um, there's like a normal rainbow one, but you can only have one of those. Like that's like the effect is that gives you like one, but you can only have one of them.
Is that how it works?
Yeah, it's like you have two of them, and they give just regular and like give colorless, and they stop being rainbow. I think it's how they work. But no, most like
One
the
per
ones that
Pokemon
actually
or
give
one per board?
per Pokemon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so the main ones are gonna be actually the like single strike, rapid strike, fusion strike
Yeah,
ones.
those
I think
are.
those give color energy. So you end up giving having like cards in your hand that are like um
There we go. God, I hate this thing. Luminous energy?
yeah,
Has any other special energy attached? This card provides colorless. I see. Yeah,
yeah,
that's
exactly.
tough. That's
Yeah,
tough.
so you wouldn't use that in that deck. It's like not very good. But you would use like single strike, rapid strike energy because those there's I think one of each that gives like color. Like one's like fighting, and I think the other one is water. I think is how it worked. But there's like
It's either fighting or
so yeah, it's
water.
fighting or dark, and then the other
Or
one is
dark, yeah.
that's for single, and
And
then
it's
the
fighting or
rapid strike
water,
one.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so you just throw in the whatever's fighting or single strike Pokemon in the deck that are basic ideally, but get stronger for every color on it in some way.
Hmm.
So I think when I went up against the deck, they had a single strike Tyranitar, I think.
Hmm.
Um, the single strike one is actually the best because single strike energy also gives you plus 20 damage in addition to the energy. Like single strike energy is actually like fucking cracked. No, it wasn't like Tyranitar. Who was it? it was fighting type, not dark type. That's I'm trying to remember who it was. Um, but it was like every energy on it, you flip a coin. For every heads, like do 40 damage or something.
Was it a V? Or is it a...
I don't remember. Hariyama, maybe? No, I don't think it was Hariyama.
No. 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 Each of your bench Pokemon.
I don't know. Maybe it was just a normal thing. But I mean,
Yeah.
the fact that single strike gives you plus 20 each means you put 4 on them and it's plus 80 damage, right?
Yep.
So that's like if you put it on a Pokemon that is like 200, now you're doing like 280, which kills like almost everything.
Almost.
Doesn't kill Charizard.
Doesn't kill Charizard. Nothing kills Charizard. What are you?
Has one move.
And it can't use it every other turn.
That seems pretty not good, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very similar to Regieleki VMAX. It also only has
But
one move.
it does, its
But
retreat
it
cost
costs
is
4 energy
garbage.
instead of 3, and
It has a retreat
it
cost.
has
Yeah.
a retreat cost, and also Regieleki has a passive ability.
Uh-huh.
So it's like all
Yeah.
around, it's not. I mean, the fact that single strike gives you its own advantage,
Sure.
though,
Yeah.
because now it can be affected by like single strike energy and
Yeah.
whatever.
If this...
You know, a card that fucked me up was it maybe the card I'm thinking of is, well, I think for the single strike thing it wasn't this, it was just, yeah, they probably just had a Tyranitar or something and
Mhm.
they just, but the one that was like full of contribution was Torkoal. That's the card I was thinking of.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
not single strike.
Yeah, I've seen that.
And
And
that
you
was
could
just
just
in
throw that
a,
in a Charizard deck.
that
Yeah.
was in a Charizard deck, yeah.
Wait, what the heck?
It's, they
How have
pulled
I
it
not
out and
seen
it
this
did.
card? It has all three.
What? Thanks, Deoxys.
Yeah.
160 for 3 energy,
Well, yeah,
but it's
plus...
also basic
Yeah.
and not a V Pokemon, and it has like all the stuff like Fusion Single Rapid on it.
Huh.
That's a card.
Yeah, it's definitely a card. I've never seen it come up, but
Yeah, same.
I don't play against strike decks very often. The only one that I see come up is the Fusion Strike.
Fusion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen the Fusion one with
I mean, that's definitely like meta. That's like one of the top decks. But
Paris, not
yeah,
Parasect. What is it?
Genesect. Yeah.
Genesect.
Yeah. Genesect and Ultra Mew. Mew,
I've
this
seen that.
one.
I've seen that deck like twice.
Yeah. Here's a Genesect. Once during your turn, you may draw cards until you have as many cards in your hand as you has Fusion Strike Pokemon in play.
Yeah, I kind of was like not that impressed with it until I was like, oh, but they have 4 of them on the bench,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's like, yeah, now they just like keep drawing a few cards very slowly. Takes the longest turns.
Mm-hmm. And then Meloetta. The attack does 70 damage for each Fusion Strike energy attached to all of your Pokemon. Which you
Yep.
just bench this thing and then you use Mew, which lets you use one of your bench Pokemon's Fusion Strike Pokemon's attacks and use it. This is like
That's
so much better than the other Mew because like, you're choosing from your own Pokemon instead of your opponent's
yeah. So
Pokemon,
you can
and
set
it's
up
only
something
2
ridiculous.
energy, right? Like
Yeah, it's 2
it
energy.
also
I
has
mean,
a 0 retreat cost. What is this?
this Pokemon's actually kind of cracked.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Holy shit.
I mean, it's 3 prize cards for what that's worth, but
It's field max. This
yeah.
is what you, yeah, but then you pull out your Eternatus. That'd be terrible. And don't Eternatus this card. Yeah, that's cracked. Holy crap.
Yeah, that is what makes this deck, well, that's part of what makes this deck tick. And even the base form, search your deck for an energy card and attach it to one of your Fusion Strike Pokemon. Like it builds into that or whatever. Or it also has a 0 retreat cost. Yeah, I don't know. There's like a lot of options. It's an interesting deck.
Yeah, I wish I could play some of these decks. It's just
Yeah.
like, do you want to put 10,000 coins down to like,
You want to like actually buy cards and then input them in the system?
can you even like buy currency?
No. You can only buy real cards.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
So,
and then also Fusion Strike Energy, as long as this card is attached to a Pokemon, I provide. Here we go. Prevent all effects of your opponent's Pokemon's abilities done to the Pokemon this card is attached to.
yeah.
So
It's like a free like a camo whatever,
well,
but
the
it's energy.
one thing that like this lets you get around is Spiritomb. Actually, it works. So Spiritomb has an ability that cancels your abilities, but if you put this on your Genesect can once again use its ability.
That's it.
Yeah,
No.
yeah, I've seen. Yeah, that's how it works.
That's funny. I
Yep,
never would have thought it would work that way.
yep.
That would also like work around like the fucking like tool disabler or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's really funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, cards that prevent effects has always been like,
What is the order of operations?
what does this even affect? Like, what
Yeah,
even counts as an
yeah,
effect?
yeah.
I know it's not damage, but there's like
Damage
all
is
these
not
cards
an
like
effect.
when your opponent plays like a trainer card, prevent effects done to this, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
but what does that
What does that
count?
entail? Yeah.
Yeah, and there's like, okay, it probably means you can't move them from the bench, but then it's also like, okay, but if you're swapping two Pokemon, which is the Pokemon being affected? Is it
Right.
both?
Yeah, the hacking leaf cloak. Yeah, it's like, what does this do?
Yeah. Camo Poncho, I think is what's called. Or Leaf
Yeah,
Poncho.
yeah.
I don't know.
Don't know. Well, it should be interesting. They're releasing a new deck
Are they?
soon. Well, I think at
Like
the
it's the end of the
6
battle
days
pass.
and 13 hours or whatever, according to this.
Yeah.
Um,
Try to win one more game to get up to the in the next week to get up to the Greninja rank.
is that where you are?
Well, the next rank is
Oh,
like the next ball tier.
what does this
Yeah.
get me? Yeah, it's
I,
something.
I think I just got some pants. I don't remember it
I don't
being.
think I'm getting to Ultra Ball though.
Oh no, I've like I cannot break above like 620.
Yeah, I mean, I'll do my dailies, and I guess on the last day, if I like can't, I haven't broken 600 yet, I'll try to grind it out. But I mean,
You'll just I'll
I
just
should get
happen.
it. I mean, I've gone up
Yeah.
like 10 points every like 3 days.
Yeah. Well, I guess when they release the new deck, we get like the deck for free, basically, right?
I mean, if you do the battle pass,
Yeah, with the battle pass.
yeah, I guess so.
I am looking at Cave Story. I don't know if you know.
Oh yeah, I did that on purpose.
Okay, figured.
I was actually intended to close this. Yeah, Cave Story is like just still here. I'm pretty sure the game is like dead.
Cave Story? Oh yeah,
Yeah,
probably.
game end. Okay, it's like actually
Okay.
closed now. Well, I don't know if anyone either A would be available or B would be at all interested in me like streaming tomorrow morning as I like panically click buttons, but
I can't promise I'll be awake.
yeah, I figured as much.
What time were you thinking?
Well, the official time is 9 a.m., but
Okay.
do it before then if possible, but I don't know. See if I decide to sleep in. We'll see if I can sleep.
Nervous, I guess.
I mean, right now,
Big.
actually no, but I sure will be. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll probably, stream it when it comes out and I'm awake.
sure. I will not be streaming it when it comes out.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Be the first one to beat it, man.
Hmm.
Day
Well, I'm not
one,
playing on Saturday, and I'm
speedrun.com.
definitely not beating it in one sitting.
No, please don't
I'm gonna
try
play.
to.
I'm gonna play for like 2 hours and be like, okay, I had enough.
Yep.
I'll come back another day.
Yeah, it is not a good game to grind out in one sitting, that's for sure. I don't think I've ever finished the game in one sitting. I don't think I've ever finished the game in two sittings. I don't think I've ever finished the game in three sittings.
You're not really selling your game right now.
No, that's a good thing.
Need to like somehow convince all the puzzle streamers to become aware.
Somehow. I mean,
I
yeah.
mean, it seems like kind of game that like, Auth might play in like 3 years. He tends to have like the longest backlog.
hmm
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright, well, I guess I'm gonna cut stream. We're looking at a black screen.
Favorite color right here.
Delicious.
When you start doing GL, you're gonna get used to the corn blue,
Corn blue or
cornfield blue or whatever.
magenta pink. That's the correct background color. Pretty sure that's the color of data. No, not that folder. Not that folder. Not that folder. I have so much crap open. Oh my god. Ah! I just sorted by name. Don't do that. Okay. Assets. Images. No, it is actually like blue, dark blue. Weird. Why did I do that? Well, whatever. How do I... Images... Add. Image. Lumen. Okay. Browse. Um... He's browsing. Wow, that is so tiny. Here we go, that's much better. That pink. That pink.
It was like a,
Transparent background pink. That is the color.
it's like a light fuchsia. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I don't know. This isn't
A
quite as
rose.
blinding as the color that I'm used to actually, but that was so that
I
this
call
would
it
actually be
blinding.
presentable. Now, there's like a background color that's used in like some of the ZC tile sets that it's like blinding pink and like you
Ah,
see it and you know that you screwed something
something's
up, right?
wrong.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's
That's
good for development, but
yeah.
when you go into release, you wanna turn
You
those
want to
things
not have
off.
any mistakes.
Wow. Yes, but also you should turn those off when you go in the release,
Yeah.
just in case mistakes happen.
Yeah, but
Just
if mistakes happen, then it's obvious and people can report bugs.
yeah, I guess that's not untrue.
Yeah. If I click this, is it going to be super mega loud? Alright, audio warning. It's not that loud. It's kind of loud. Oh, that's not very well centered. Thanks, OBS. Wonder why that happened. Well, whatever.
Russell.
Russell, Russell, Russell. Dude, spoilers, but in Super Mario Wonder, the reward for like 100% is a badge that makes all the sound effects like mouth
Spoken.
noises. Yeah.
That has to have like the same backstory, right? Like they have someone just like make some sound effects so we know what the sound effects are being played correctly, and then as like filler, and they're like, these are hilarious, keep them.
Maybe so.
I believe.
How did this like choose such a wrong image though? I know I said this before.
I like the aspect ratio. It's like mobile.
This was supposed to be for
Like
like
it's like
this
the
side of the
banner.
screen. It's like the right size so that if you put like a ZC next to it, it would fit properly. Yeah. Yeah, I hunted it. It's not a very long game. Stream, Steam, trailer thumbnail. That's more like it. That's what was supposed to be there. I don't know how that got changed. Whatever. I don't know if I'm ever using this scene again, but that was the trailer. In case you haven't seen it. Crumble, crumble, crumble into infinity, I guess. Oh god, that reminds me. I actually should. Annoying. So on Twitter, whenever you like upload a video or whatever, just use the first frame as the like image that you see if you don't click
Mm-hmm.
play, and the first frame of the trailer is garbage. So like I need to like just get open my thing and just like add a frame at the beginning that's just the title or whatever so that it's not doesn't look stupid.
Still didn't see it. Well, it's on Steam.
It's on Steam. Or you could just play the game, I guess. That's fine too. It's not like I made the trailer for people to watch or anything. I mean, it's not a very impressive trailer. It's fine. Okay, yeah, for real. I'm gonna cut stream. Thanks for watching. Have a good night. See you guys around. Peace.